Well, here we are, folks. We've been building on to the radio station. This started basically even before this last year. You know, we've done a little here and there trying to prepare what's going on, but we're getting pretty close to getting finished. And we're going to take you on a walkthrough today of what everything looks like. As you can see over here to my left, we've got the new fence put in and got some paint on it the other day while the weather was still warm. We was able to move one of the carports and put it over there, and we have an additional one that's going to be coming in over here to my right that's going to be installed here in just another few days. And this is the attachment to the building where actually Ben's going to be living, and that's going to have somebody right here in the building on site to take care of things. So that's going to be a real blessing to us. As you can see behind us, we've got a 2-story unit that we built, and it's growing us up in more ways than one. We've got a lot of new storage that we didn't have before, and we've also got a great opportunity to be able to expand, and we're just hoping and praying that that's what the Lord wants us to do. And so this is not just a place of building, but this is a place of expansion for further growth of ministry and effectiveness for the kingdom. So I'm going to take you on a walkthrough around the outside here, and then we're just basically going to go around on the inside. So if you'll just kind of follow me along here, I'll walk backwards, and hopefully I won't fall over. But I think the colors here have all matched up pretty nice. As you can see, we've got a little bit of decorative in to look at here, decorative rock. We've also put in some like some new rock here into the parking. We've got we've actually got 30 tons of finished rock to come in here as soon as we tell them, and this will be put on the rest of the parking lot to finish it off. In fact, that will be the last thing that is done to finish this project, will be that 30 ton of rock that's coming. And I couldn't say enough about the people that's already helped and given help, people that's donated stuff. And I was figuring up the other day, we've probably saved at least $20,000 by doing the work ourselves and with volunteers and trading out stuff. I've traded stuff for work, and so we had a lot of art inside the building. I traded a lot of that art out, and we were able to use that to help offset some things. Now, one thing we did do that's kind of separate of the building, if you look over here to the right of me, we built a storage unit that's 40 by 16. We were able to build that for half the cost of what you'd normally have to buy one, because of somebody's generosity to sell that unit to us at that kit at cost. And so it was a lot cheaper for us to do it that way. But that's given us a great opportunity to have place to store stuff. So we have that 40 by 16 area there now that we can store in. Now out here we've got a lot of cleanup that's getting ready to take place here the next day or two. And if you look off to my left here, you can see how the buildings come together. And I want you to notice that we have the old building here, and we have this new part of the building coming out over the top of the old building. That does not touch, except just that tin that you see setting on the edge. There is nothing nailed to this old building. Everything is just setting up over the building and enclosed over it. And the reason is, if we need to tear this back unit out later on as it gets older, it will in no way affect the new unit. We will have nothing attached. There'll be no electric wire that goes between the two. There'll be no plumbing or anything else. We're doing it all separate so that when we take that out of there at a later time, if the time would come, then it won't affect us in any way and cost us a whole bunch of more money. So we're trying to plan for the future. If the Lord wants us to expand again, it's going to be done in a lot cheaper way. So we're making all of those adjustments now. If you notice here, we've got some outbuildings too around me, and this is our well house, and then over here some other outbuildings. These buildings just a few days ago were about 4 or 5 different colors each, because we used all the scrap metal we had, and we just put everything together that we could to cover these up, basically because they needed a paint job, and also because of the ice that falls off this tower here. When that ice falls off that tower, it really beats up these buildings and these roofs. So we put heavier metal on all these things, and by doing this, then we had a guy come in and he just spray painted everything and put all this and made it all look the same. So I think it looks pretty good. So this would be the forward wall, and if we ever pulled that old unit out from under here, we would have the same amount, another 24 by 36 area we could build again and double our size again and do it at about half of the cost of what we've had to do this, if even less than that, because we've already prepared this for the future. So we're going to just continue to walk around. As you notice, even this old part back here that is portable, it again does not touch to the new part. All these things can be pulled out and enclosed. We've actually got the heat and air put in to where that would expand into these areas as well. And so, we're trying to think ahead this time and not get ourselves into a bind. Back here, you'll notice, the painting and stuff is still like it was, is looking good. We painted our satellite dish. These are little things that have needed to be done forever, and that we actually still use this dish, and we've been able to paint that and have some warm days. The Lord's blessed with some good weather here in the fall, and we've been able to get that done as well. Back here's our storage building. It's still kind of junked up a little bit because we're still right, like I said, at the end. We're trying to put everything together. I'll let you take a little look inside here. Kind of interesting place. Now this one time you couldn't even get in here. It's not much better at the moment, but it's a lot better than what we had. Because if you notice in here, we've insulated. We've come in here and this has all been sprayed. And so this now we don't have to worry the problems of things freezing and burning up in the summer and being overheated. Here just a few weeks ago, there was over 3,000 Christmas boxes in here from Operation Christmas Child. This made it a lot easier for us to be able to hold those type of events that we have here and not clutter up our front area. So this has been a lot better. We're trying to get in a lot better ways of organization. So this is going to be used in a way here. We're just trying to build things into it, organize stuff, just like tools and everything else. Okay, well, we're coming around the west side now. And again, we're over here. This is the last part of the outside work they have to do is right here. And this is the upstairs. This goes to the upstairs. It's our exit from up there. And right here in this area here, there's a big place made for a generator. Now, we've already had to get into our generator funds because of what it's cost to do this project, even though we've saved lots of money. A generator, the project for the generator was $35,000. But we spent about $4,000 of that, which we already had. People had given that money. I think they'd given about $3,000, which was targeted only towards the generator. We spent about $4,000 to actually go over here and put a place in, bury a line where a 1,000-gallon propane tank can set, and then we buried the line, brought it up over here, put lots of steel to be able to take the weight of a generator. It would be a 100,000 K generator because that's what we have to run this thing in case we had no electric. And the reason too for a deck up here above and a roof that's going to be on was to protect that generator sitting down here so that it would last a little longer and we wouldn't get it beat up. And this would be an automatic brand new system that would turn off and check itself every week to make sure it works. As you can hear, our heating and air is working. We have a unit for upstairs and one for down to make us run more efficiently, and that way we don't have to just run a unit to try to control both. And by the way, if we expand again, these units will again take care of what is needed. We're going to go up the stairwell here. Like I say, in just a couple of days, in fact, by the time you see this, this will already be built and finished out and be done. But this is the work that we've been doing from up here. This will actually be also a pretty nice little place for us to be able to, staff can come out and have lunch sometimes and just kind of get away from something in the summertime. But anyway, big roof here. As you look off over the roof here, we had a leaking problem, and if you see two colors in the roof, that's because we had to coat that second old roof to be able to keep the water out of there. So we had to put a coating on that. But we're taking care of all these things that needed to be taken care of for a long time. And inside here this will be our control room. This is what we call our IT room, also our storage room. This is going to be the place where we're going to have all of our servers at, all of our electronic stuff that runs the place. We also are going to be putting up some cameras around here for security purposes. All through here is where we will store all of our office supplies and our printers. Everything will be up here so we can watch everything and take care of it there. Still a little dirty, still have a little bit of work to do. Now this room here is going to serve one purpose for now, but it's fixed so it can serve two purposes. We have this wall fixed and also units put in over here on this wall so that if we needed to expand to have another office, just to have an office without getting into a building program, we could actually move the door we just came through and put a wall straight across here and have another office space. But we don't need that right at the moment, so we just left the room big. This is where it's going to be my office for now. And I'll kind of be sitting here in the corner. And by the way, we're making all of our own furniture. We're doing all of that, we'll save half the money by making it just out of good grade, sanded plywood. And it won't be anything real fancy, but it'll serve its purposes. And everything will be built out of wood so that they'll last. And we won't have stuff coming apart in 2 or 3 years. So we're fixing it in those areas there. This way, we've got a pass-through area. This is actually just a walk-in behind, which joins the two units. Now this is where the old building and the new building meet. We've turned this in as well, as you can see here. This has been turned into a storage area, but this would be a good place for us to store light stuff and to get things put up here that just need to be out of the way but easy to get to, because before we've had them stuck everywhere, inside closets, inside bathtubs, you name it. We filled it up trying to have enough storage. So this has given us an opportunity, and this is where the old meets the new. This is the part that was standard and will stay. We've not tried to invest any money that would cause in any way, to do anything lavish. I think our floor looks pretty nice. It's pretty dirty right now, but we were able to buy that for like $1.29 a foot or $49 a foot, where most of them are $2 and so forth. So we'll have a little vanity right here. Somebody give this to us, and we're going to put that in there. And then we'll have a little bathroom here upstairs. I'm going to kind of go into another spot here. This shows you where the two buildings meet together. Now, I know this is kind of a different deal here that Adam's going to be panning around in. But this is our heating system that actually sits over the old part, but it's built up over it in these big giant beams. So again, if you look through there, you can see none of them touch the old. They're just sitting here, and this heating system is built for a walk around it. So if down below we ever pulled all this out from where I'm standing right now and pull that out of there, we could just put a ceilings up and drop it down, and this would become, again, a whole nother area underneath my feet here, would again open this up and give us a whole bunch more room. And who knows, it says commit your plans to the Lord and he will direct your steps. So we're just committing this to him, and whatever he wants to do, we're going to be prepared to be a part of it. Well, if you'd like to, you can follow me now downstairs. The guys are doing some work down there. We got some volunteers helping today, and then we've also got some of the staff helping clean up, because we're getting ready to stain the floors down here. You're coming down the hallway that's getting ready to be finished out here in just a few days. But anyway, it looks kind of out of mess, but we're getting ready to clean this all up in here. This is going to be the entryway. This will be where people will start coming in eventually here in a few weeks. We're going to have a big unit built all the way across here for actually 2 people to sit. That way, if we have one of our front people and we have a volunteer here working, they can be right beside them and getting instruction on help us putting envelopes together or whatever the case may be there. In here as well, we've got a room that serves a dual purpose. This is actually an all solid steel room, all concrete room. This is a storm room, but it's also a bathroom. So this is going to be our bathroom, storm room together, and it'll be a big room, but it'll just be a safe place to get into. And anyway, the big door on here is all solid steel. It is a FEMA door. This is a heavy duty steel door for us to be able to get in case we would need it. So this will be our reception area. And then down the hallway here is going to be one of our office rooms. This will be an office here. As you notice, we've actually took windows. Some of these have been donated, turned them on their side, and they just these were doors, and we turned them on their side. So that way, whoever's in these offices can see through if somebody wouldn't be out front. And so anyway, this is just an office here. Again, making all of our own furniture and shelves, cabinetry, everything for it. We're not going to have any file cabinets in this building because our shelves are going to move, and we're going to have file boxes on those shelves, and we can slide shelves out to us and not have to worry with having file cabinets. Now, this office here is where our coordinator, Adam Winkler, is going to be at. And he'll have an access actually to go outside, and that'll be by the stairs where you just seen us go up. Well, this will be the bottom of that. So Adam will be in this room here, and then he's the man with some more closet areas. We're going to have a closet area back in here, so we can keep a lot of our equipment and stuff. And then where the two buildings meet, we're upstairs, we were in that little short area. Well, now here's a big area. So this will be out of Adam's closet, and this will be another place for him to keep a lot of the storage of things we don't want people to actually get to so easy, some of our electronics and stuff that we need to store for now, that we need to just kind of keep safe and dry, and so that'll be a good place for some of those things to rest. I'm going to take you now to, and again, we've made some changes on the inside of what we're doing at the station, so I'm going to kind of walk you through that and let you see some things that we're doing there. Well, here's Ben, and Ben is usually in there getting ready for a ball game or a computer, but today, for a while, he's going to be in here tearing up this paper off the floor. So everybody's got their place and position. Right here, again, is the backside to that closet that we were just in at Adams. Now, this side gives us access to our electrics, and we actually have a unit here now where music is played on the outside of the station. So that's all being done on the outside. We have outside speakers up. And if you look right down through there, this is where the buildings again meet. You notice they're not attached. If you look above, they're just sitting there next to each other, but they're not attached. And that's where we've got all of our water and stuff coming in that's going to the upstairs bathroom. Our heating and everything comes down. But again, nothing attaches to the old here. And there's Andy at work this morning, getting production done while we're doing other things. We're all working together. Now in here is what we call Studio 101. This used to be one big room, and we've had to divide it up. So as you can see, it's under siege as well in the building program. Because of us losing part of our area over there in the old part where we had a little bit of a kitchen and stuff, we're having to fix a little bit of a kitchen area back here. This is where we hold our board meetings as well, and sometimes our staff meetings and so forth, things like that. But this is where we're at here, and then we built a wall to divide the two. And then this is a recording studio, so many of the pastors that come in and do programs, you hear Cross Point and other shows like that, this is the room we do them in, and this is going to be all decorated back in a foam type of deal. There's not going to be any more pictures and stuff in here because we've got to soundproof this room. So these rooms are getting ready to be transformed somewhat, and we've got a lot of cleaning up to do in the end as well. But, you know, a lot of things that you're seeing here have been donated to us or given to us, or people's come and help. They put that wall up. A gentleman came and built that wall for us, and it didn't cost us. These people have just been giving and helping, and so it's helped us out. Right here, we've actually done some different kind of building because of the water situation. We put this up here. We've actually got two walls buried under the ground right here to retain water and hold it back so that it don't come rushing in here now that we've had to redo the parking lot. And actually where I'm standing right here, this is full of sandbags underneath me, so that if water does get through and rush at the door, them sandbags will catch it. So, again, trying to think ahead a little bit. Now, this actually is where we're at right now. This is where it's getting ready to be turned into housing. But right now, this is where we're at. So we're in here And as you can see, we're going to transform this somewhat too. All this is getting painted, and actually this door's been installed, so we'll finish it. And then this will shut this part off from the new part. And so this is where it'll stop, and from here back this will be turned into a living quarters for one of the staff. But I just want to kind of show you kind of how crowded we are in these rooms. We have no room hardly. We just got stuff piled everywhere because we have nowhere to go. I mean, here's one of our bathrooms, and here's what, you know, the bathtub looks like. Everything is just overloaded. Stuff's happened to be stacked here and there. That whole closet's full over there if we could get the door open to it. This is the kitchen that we're going to be losing, so you can see why we were doing the work in the back. But anyway, this is going to be turned into good use. It's still going to be part of being able to take care of the ministry. Of course, back in here it's kind of dark, but this is kind of where I roost at sometimes. And you can see already things are pretty crowded back in here. And we're just kind of throwing everything together so we can buy our time to get done. But as you can see, any little crook and cranny, we've just had to pile stuff because we have nowhere to be able to put stuff. I mean, this eventually will get turned back into a shower right here. But as you can see right now, it's become a closet and stacked, used for everything else. So what we've been doing has been greatly needed. This is currently what we've been using for storing our office supplies. And you can kind of see what it's like back in here as well. So organization does mean something, and we sure need to be organized a little better. So we're getting ready to make some changes that are greatly needed. Well, as you can see behind me and what's going on, that what we're doing is important. It's greatly needed. But this has came a long ways from where it first started, when we just had a little old shed out here that was 20 by 36. And that's what we started with many years ago. It was an old garage we converted. So God's been faithful, and he's brought us through to this point and place. So I'm considering that he's got greater things in the future than I know about. But I just want you to know what we've been doing. I want to give you kind of a walkthrough. I believe we're right now at about 90% completion, because a lot of things are getting ready to change inside, and we're just having to do a lot of little things right now to get this all finished. And we appreciate those that have given and their support, and I'd really like to encourage you, if you haven't given or you still want to give again or be a part of it, I would appreciate it if you consider giving. It's coming up here on the end of the year. This will all be done by the year's end. And we'll all be in the new building. Everything will be running, but it's going to take finances to get that done, and we sure could use your support. So if you like to find out more, you can always contact us or check out our website. You can go to our website at www.kneo.org and see as the building's been progressing with all the pictures and stuff. If you want to mail something to us, it's 10827 Highway 86 East, Neosho, Missouri, 64850. You can always call us at 417-451-5636. There's lots of ways you can help, and we would appreciate it if you would consider doing that as we get ready to wrap this program up. You know, it would really be great if we had enough of the money to come in to go ahead and finish purchasing that generator, which will end the entire project there. And you know, who knows what God's got in store. And believe me, what he's already took us through and got us through, because we've done every bit of this. Not we, but it's been done, and we just been a part of it, and we've not borrowed $1. All this has been done on people's gifts to this ministry. So that says a lot right there. So if God's brought us this far, I know he's going to take us all the rest of the way. But you might be a part of that process, and I would like you to consider that. Thank you, and you have a blessed day, and we appreciate your partnership with us here in the ministry. So what's this all boil down to? We need your help. So let me tell you what God's done. And as you can hear in the background while I'm talking, they're still working in the walls behind me, so we're trying to get this all put together and get this project wrapped up. But this all started, well, actually a couple years ago. We started on the, really getting serious about this project, knew that we were going to do it. And then about a year ago, we just kind of got working on it. We got some churches involved, and they actually did a lot of the preliminary work, a lot of the groundwork. It took some time, but we worked through that. And a lot of the cost was absorbed actually through the workers that helped us. So that was a big plus to get started. But we really kicked this project off, I guess it was in about May. And the project really took to going, and then the contractors got here about a month later, and they began to build. And things began to happen all through this period. For instance, we didn't know about building over the old building. As I mentioned before, we was concerned about whether to attach to the old roof or to go over it. And we didn't really submit those plans. The builder knew about them, and he had given them to the truss company to build the trusses. But what happened when the truss company pulled in, they had those big old monster trusses on that meant we couldn't attach to the building. The contractor was kind of interested in how that happened, but I told him, listen, we didn't really submit those plans. Somehow they got through, and so it looked like to me God had submitted them, and so he doesn't want us to build on the old because maybe he knows something about the future. So we didn't build to the old, and those trusses were made like that. So, we've had those kind of things happen. We've had people that's actually brought us materials, and then we didn't even have to pay for them. They just gave us the materials. They came in here and did work, never had to pay for it. They come in here and built something for us, and then just left and said, you don't owe us anything. We just want to help be a part of the project. These kind of things have went on and on and on all through this. And like I said earlier, at least right now I can figure up that we have saved over $20,000 in just things like that happening because God's been involved. So God's been involved in this tells me that he's got a greater plan, a bigger plan that even I can understand and anyone else around here. But I do know this: we're not building just to have a building. We're not building just so we can have a new office. We're building so we can expand, so we can get out and do more. So that is what we're looking forward to, is what God is going to do when we get moved in here and we begin to operate from here. As the months begin to transpire, what's God going to do that's going to expand the ministry of Sky High Broadcasting? So whatever you do in being a part of helping us, it's going to be a part in the expansion of what's to come. And one interesting thing we did right at the very first of this, I'd went to a camp meeting with it was a kids camp, and I'd watched a bunch of kids at that camp meeting as they were singing and praising the Lord. They were in an old outdoor tabernacle that really needed some repair. And I happened to mention to some of the pastors, you really need to repair this or you're going to have some problems with it later. And they explained to me, well, they would have to try to raise the money and have to get the metal and then have to get teams together from the churches to try to go and fix it all up. But as I was there at that meeting, God began to kind of peck on my heart about that. So by the time it was over with, because we were getting such a good deal on metal, I got with the metal company and we went ahead, the radio ministry, bought the metal to build that to fix that tabernacle for them. But not only did we do that, but we sent the work crews from here, paid them, and they went up there and worked on that project. It's kind of a tithe from what God was doing and blessing us here, that we were able to bless somebody else. So I believe in those kind of processes. As we give from here, that God will also use that for people to give to us. And we always tithe from this ministry and support other ministries that go far beyond around the world, like Trans World Radio and Far East Broadcasting, that can reach people all around the world that we can't reach. And that's something we're going to continue to do, and I know that's why God blesses us. So when you bless this ministry, you're not just blessing us, you're blessing a lot of people as well.